for the gold 9-up frame. This is a photograph that I took of a frame with a mat on an easel with a gray background wall. So when you open up this template, you're going to notice that there's only one layer. That's fine, but you'll see that there are some cutouts in the frame. This is where you're going to place your images below this template, and they're going to appear in these little cutouts here. And I want to show you what the final product will look like. So this is the similar template. It's the 9-up on the black frame, and you can see a finished product of all the images in there. If you want to see what it will look like in the Photoshop version, all of my images for that 9-up frame are all below the layer with the template. So we're simply going to add 9 images and reduce the size of those images to fit into those individual cells. This template will also work for the 9-up silver frame, the black frame, and the gold frame. The steps are all the same, but there's going to be a couple extra steps for this one because it's a horizontal template. I'm going to show you a few little tricks at the end of this video so that you can add text or expand the background of this frame so you can add it to your print marketing. So let's get started here. I have a Dropbox folder open with a series of images from a photo shoot I did a few years ago. And what I want to do with this is I want to display a variety of images from a single shoot of one person, and you can use this as a gallery frame. You can also use this as a family portrait session if you want to show the individual images plus group images of a family unit. But for this particular template, you want to make sure that all of your images are in the vertical orientation. So I had a couple of horizontal images that I used that I then cropped to a vertical orientation just so I can use them in this template. And you can do that in Photoshop. So I'm going to start adding some images. I want to put this image in the center. I'm going to keep this in the horizontal orientation just to show that sometimes you can use it, but you can use other images to cover up the background. So I'm going to use the transform tool. You can find it under the edit menu, under edit, transform to scale. Now what this is going to do is create a bounding box around your image, and you can use the anchor points to reduce the size of that image. Hold down the shift key, move your mouse over to one of the corner anchors and drag it in. And then you can go to the other side, keep holding your shift key down, and drag your image even further inward. Now, right now the image is above our template. We want to move it below the template so that we'll only see the part of the photograph we want to see below that, the mat. So I'm going to click on that layer. Oops, hang on. First I'm going to set this image. I'm going to hit return on my keyboard. Now I can activate that layer and drag it below our template layer. You'll see a blue highlight below that template layer. Go ahead and release it. And now our image is below the cells of the mat. Now going back to edit, transform to scale, we're going to reduce the size of this image. I'm going to zoom in so you can see this better. And I'm just going to bring this image just to the outside of that mat. And I'm going to click return. Using the arrow keys on my keyboard, I'm going to use the right arrow. I'm going to move this image over a little bit. I'm holding down my shift key to get bigger increments over. So if I don't hold down my shift key, it's just going to come over just a little bit. If you need to make a big move, hold down that shift key. And then I'm going to click return on my keyboard so I can set that image. Alright, now we're going to put in the other images that we're going to use in the center of our frame to cover up that background. I'm going to drag our first image over, and I'm going to zoom out so you can see it. That picture is really large, so we're going to first click return and move our image just below our mat and frame. Again, go to edit, transform to scale to reduce the size of that image. And I'm using my mouse, I'm clicking in the center of that photo so I can drag it up to the top where we need it. And holding down my shift key still, I am going to bring that image in. I'm going to hit return on my keyboard and I'm going to zoom in, hit my command plus on my keyboard. You can also go to view to zoom in. You'll have to hit that a couple of times, but if you see the keyboard shortcut, It's Command plus on my Mac, and I think it's going to be Control plus on your PC. Now, once you've zoomed in, you might notice you need to reduce the size of that image just a little bit. So go back to Edit, Transform to Scale, and holding down the Shift key still, we're going to bring those anchors in just a little bit, and it's just past that matte. If we go too far in, we're going to see that transparent background and part of the background from our other horizontal images in the center of this template. So just make sure you're just on the outer portions of that cell and click Return. Again, you can use the arrow key on your keyboard to move that crop and to move the image in just a little bit to the left or the right, up and down, depending on where you want your image placed. I'm going to click Command 0 to zoom out, and I'm going to drag another template in here. Let's see, where is our next image? Here we go. I'm going to click and drag that in here. If you do not have, I'm going to hit Command Z. If you do not have a Finder window open to drag and drop images in, another way that you can add images is by going to File, to Open, and you need to locate the folder where it has all of your images in. Mine's already open to the folder that I'm using. I have it in Dropbox, and I just located on Dropbox where I have these photos of Emily on here. Once you've got your dialog box open to your folder, just simply click on the image you want to select and click Open. This is going to open another file in Photoshop, and you'll see the tabs here at the top. I'm using Photoshop CC 2018, and I'm not sure when they started using the tabs, so if in the older versions you probably will not have the tabs here. So I want to select this photograph and put it onto the template. I'm going to go to Select All, or Command A or Control A on your keyboard shortcut, and we're going to Edit to Copy. So that's Command C or Control C on your keyboard. And now we're going to go into our template and go to Edit to Paste. And now we have our image into our template. Again, we need to reduce the size of this image. I'm going to click Return, Edit, Transform to Scale. If your bounding boxes don't appear automatically in Photoshop, this is where you'll have to find the, go to the Edit menu to find the Transform tool, and your bounding box will appear with your anchors. Now I'm going to move my image over to the center, right of my template, and I'm going to hold my Shift key down and bring that image inward to bring it to the size of that matte opening. I'm going to click Return, and I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see what I'm doing here. I'm just holding down my space bar so the hand tool will appear and I can move within my template, move my template over so you can see it inside the frame. Again, going to Edit, Transform to Scale. I want to fit this image in a little bit of a tighter crop. Once I have it there, I'm going to hit Return. And I'm going to use my arrow key to move it over a bit. Good. Now we need to add the rest of our images. So I'm going to drag another image in here, and my bounding boxes for my transform tool automatically appear when I drag an image in. So I'm just holding down my Shift key, and I'm going to bring that image in just a little bit. I'm going to click Return. I need to move my image below that matte frame, so I'm just going to drag, I'm just going to click and grab that layer and move it below the template layer. Zoom in, get my move tool, and reduce that image just a little bit more. And I'm going to repeat this a few more times until I have all of my images into the template. You can just follow me along on this while I'm dragging and repeating these steps. Okay, and 3 more images and we're done here. Let's see, which images did we use already? Got that one. Oh, here we go. sometimes in the series it's hard to see the difference between all of these images. So just make sure that you have the exact series that you want to use within this template in your folder. It makes things a lot easier than I made for myself right here. Okay, I've got that one. I got this. I got the back. Over the shoulder. Forward. It looks like we're missing some. One more. It's a lot of repetitive steps for this. And we have one last image we need to find to put in here. Over the shoulder. She's got this one. Got this one. Got that one. Yep. 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 Laughing. Straight onto the camera. Over the shoulder, sitting. Let's see, which one are we missing here? Looking down. Let me grab this. This is another little trick. If you have an image on another template, you can just drag it and put it into the second template. And we're going to reduce the size of this image. And I'm going to click return. Now I'm going to zoom in so I can just crop all of these all at once instead of one at a time. So using my move tool, I'm going to click on this image and each one to see which photo I need to reduce. Once I've got that, again, I'm just using the shift key to reduce the size of my image. I've got the transform tool already activated, and I'm clicking on the image. I'm doing an auto select. This is just a preference I have in my Photoshop program, so that instead of having to click on each individual layer, I just have to click in the area where my image is that I want where the layer is selected, so that I can automatically just start editing it. It makes things a lot easier and a lot smoother, and actually saves you some time. Alright, now that I have all of my images set, I'm going to zoom out, and now we have a fully edited template. Now I want to save a working copy of this. So I'm going to go to File, to Save As, and I'm going to save this into my Emily folder. We're just going to call this working copy, or you can call this template as well. And we're going to keep this in the Photoshop format in case we need to go back and make any edits to this or use it for something else. So I'm going to click Save. Now I'm going to go to Layer to flatten image, and I'm going to save a JPEG of this. So to go File, to Save As, saving it into the same folder, I'm going to choose a different format and choose JPEG, and click Save. And I'm going to keep that quality at 12, the highest quality I have for this template. Go to Image to Image Size. Right now in pixels it's almost 3000 by 1950 pixels. I'm going to show you the inches. It's 9 by 6.5 at 300 dpi. This is a good size for any print marketing that you want to use. The resolution's at 300. You have it at a good size that you can place it into a marketing piece and it will still print in full resolution. If you want to use this on your social media marketing, go into the pixels and reduce the width or the height, whichever one is the longest edge, and change it to 900 pixels. If you have your height and width constrained, so if you have that this little link selected so that it reduces both the height and the width at the same time, the height will then be switched to 600 pixels. Keep the resolution at 300 and click OK. Now your image is sized just big enough so you can place it onto your social media and it'll still look nice and crisp. I'm going to go back a couple of steps. I'm opening up my history panel to where we flattened that full size, full resolution image. And what I want to do is maybe place this template onto maybe a double-sided gift voucher, and I want this to be the full-size image on the front side of my my postcard. Now say, I'm going to open up a new document. Now say our template is a 9x6 for our gift voucher template. Okay, sorry, my Photoshop is taking its sweet old time here, waiting for a dialog box to open up so we can create a new document here. Sorry, give it a minute. Come on, any minute now here, Photoshop. Let's go. Ah, there we go, new document. Now once the dialog box comes up, you'll have an option for the height and width and your background colors and any other little bits of document that you need to specify for the size of your project. Now I want to set this to the size to inches, and I want the width to be 9 inches by 6 in height. So it's going to automatically select a horizontal orientation for me. I want the resolution to be 300. I'm going to leave this in RGB because when we print with printers that work with photographers like Miller's Lab, for instance, you can keep your design files in RGB to send them to print. If you are using gotprint.com for your printing, they prefer that everything be in CMYK for printing. So that's where you can change your color mode to CMYK and save a version of your image in that color mode. I'm going to keep this in RGB for now. The background of our template is going to be white paper white, and I'm going to click create. Alright, so now I'm going to click on our template, our 9-up frame template, and I'm going to go to select all, edit to copy, and I'm going to click on our new document and go to edit to paste our image in there. And I'm going to reduce the size of this to fit into our new document using that transform tool and click return. I want to move the image over to the right so that I'll have more space to add text for this marketing template. Now you'll notice that we're missing some of the background right here and some of the paper white is showing. That's a pretty easy fix. I'm going to select my rectangle frame tool, and I'm going to select, cancel that out, select the image, the part of our image that's missing the background. Now with my patch tool, I'm going to, take that back. I'm going to hit edit to copy. Wait a second here, this is not working right. Command D. Oh, sorry, I need to flatten my layer. Sorry, working too fast here and forgetting what I'm doing. So let's go back again, select the rectangle frame tool, and I'm just going to select the area that I want to copy this background into. Now once I've selected that area, and now I'm going to click on my rectangle frame tool and slide this over so it copies this background next to it. And I'm going to deselect. Now you have a nice seamless extension to your background. That's one way of doing it. You can also use your clone tool, but that takes a little bit more painting on. This is just one of the quicker ways to do it. But like in Photoshop, there's about 100 different ways of doing things. For me, this is just the fastest way. Now that we've extended the background, you can add text using the type tool, and you can add text to your document and delete that. You can also add your logo. Go to File, to New Window, and I'm going to select my logo. And I keep a file of my logo in different file formats, like I have a EPS Illustrator version and a JPEG and PNG that has a transparent background, so I can always add those to any marketing that I'm working on. Let's see if I can find a PNG. Here we go. So I'm going to click and drag that onto my template. I'm going to click return. Oh, that's a low resolution file, so that's not going to work. We need high resolution for this. So going to go back into my Finder window and select what I believe might be a high resolution version of my logo. There we go. And I'm using my transform tool to reduce the size of that image. And you can add your logo to this document. Now, I don't really like that the red is kind of clashing with the pinks and peaches and golds in my logo, so I'm going to change this to a white logo. Or you can also change it to black. It'll look nice, complement nice with this easel. Or you can change it to gold. What I want to do is double click on that layer, and it's going to open up a layer style dialog box. I'm going to click on color overlay, and my default's already selected to white, but if you click on that swatch, you can choose different colors in the color picker to change your logo to black or white. If you happen to know the color code for your image, I think all black is a bunch of F's. No, sorry, that's all white. So it's 6 F's, and black is a bunch of E's. Nope. Maybe it's zeros. Yeah, there we go. If you have a specific swatch color that you need to use, go to your color libraries and select the Pantone book that you use. I'm mostly solid uncoated. I prefer that. If I want gold, I know it's going to be 872 or 871. It might be in this. If not, I have to go to the metallics. Yeah, got to go to the metallics. Premium metallic. I think there's only a coated option. So I'm just going to zoom here and kind of look for a gold color, and that looks pretty good. It's not enough contrast. So the gold won't work here on this particular template. You can also go over to the, move your mouse over to the template, and a little eyedropper will appear, and you can select the pixels in that gold frame until you get one that you like. Ooh, that dark gold looks really nice. We can actually click OK on that. I'm going to click on, back to the picker. Okay, and I'm going to move my mouse down a little bit to get a darker version of that color. So you can play with this a little bit and get a darker or lighter version of any color you select. I'm going to keep that there and click OK. Click OK again, and now there's a color overlay on our logo. So a couple little tricks for you to add to your template to give it a little bit more of a flair. You can use this as a special offer, create something there, or add this to any other templates in our Etsy shop. If you want to find this template, go into our Etsy shop. If you are on the YouTube channel, you can click on the template shop here. It will take you to our Etsy page. Go to product mockups, and you'll see our templates here: gold frame, silver frame, and black frame. There's also a version of the silver frame where you can change the background on here as well. Instead of having a gray background, you can change it to pink or any other color that you want, which will be in another video tutorial later on. I'll post in the YouTube channel. If you have any questions, please post them in the comment section of this video, and I'll answer them as soon as I can.